Today we will be collecting mushrooms in the forest in the Nebrovsky wetlands. I went fishing, but the fishing was unsuccessful, so let's see what we can find here. Today is already October 15th, so it is basically time to start collecting them. The weather was not very wet. It hadn't rained in a while, but still, there was something to look for. The leaves have not yet fallen. It is clear that they have just started to turn yellow because it has been warm. And here I have already come across such a stump, a fallen tree, on which oyster mushrooms have begun to appear. It is clear that Zebnica is starting to emerge. It has already begun, and soon they should appear in large numbers. But this is still just the beginning. We'll carefully trim the plants, ensuring precision and care. The large branches or leaves can be cut down to size, while the smaller ones can be left to grow a bit more, allowing them to develop fully. Let's move on to the next step in our gardening process. Here is another small and beautiful little tree. It used to grow here in the past, and there were many oyster mushrooms. Now it is clear that they are starting to appear, mainly near the ground, primarily in the atmosphere, because there is significantly more moisture content there due to the fact that it has already woven together completely. Let's keep searching a bit more, and thoroughly. Today I didn't take it to find it. I don't have a camera with me, so I'm recording on my phone. This oyster mushroom, commonly known as the Pleurotus austriatus, is beige in color. It appears first, and then there will be a blue one. We have the opportunity to carry a bag with us. Let's take this chance to explore further and see what lies ahead. It's an exciting journey that awaits us, and we should embrace it with enthusiasm and curiosity. The forest is certainly dry because I haven't been here for about 3 weeks, but you can still find something near the water. I found a beautiful tree in the forest that is absolutely magnificent and completely covered with a variety of different types of oyster mushrooms growing on it in abundance. This is precisely the way you can leisurely walk through the woods. You can find such good batches if you really want to, say. Last year there were no mushrooms here, and the same on the neighboring tree, which means we came here for a reason. You can cut it. We cut it extremely close to the trunk of the tree, and the mosquitoes are really biting very hard indeed. The results of this year's harvest have been very good, indeed, quite remarkable. There is no fish, but mushrooms have already appeared. This means we didn't come for fishing in vain. It's not fishing as one might think, but rather a fisherman in the traditional sense. There are more fallen trees than usual. I don't know why. Maybe there was strong winds and perhaps some weather catastrophes recently. Here you can look under the trees that are accumulated and stacked up and see. There is still an additional batch of oyster mushrooms under the roots. So here we simply need to walk around in a circle and see what is here, and observe. All mushrooms are currently growing under the trees near the roots because there is no moisture higher up. They have to feed only on the moisture that falls to the ground in the form of dew in the early morning hours. A small patch of tiny little mushrooms. Mosquitoes, those pesky insects, are flying around. This year, they really seem to be just enjoying the quite warm weather a lot. It is now the middle of October, and the thermometer still shows +20. Warmth is good for mushrooms, but if there is no moisture, they do not grow. Here I found a nice tree, and leszczinki are already growing all the way up. I just need to think about how to get them down from there because it's quite high. I used a long, sturdy stick to reach the mushrooms. There are many different types of mushrooms, but they are all high up on the branches of the trees. With the help of the stick, I carefully knocked down all the mushrooms, one by one, until they were all on the ground. By the way, this is some kind of mushroom. If you know, could you tell me what it is? I won't take it for now because it might be inedible. Write your comments. There is a small swamp here that serves as a source of moisture for the mushrooms that I found. If you enter the forest and find a patch of mushrooms, it is advisable to remember it, as it will be easier for you to find mushrooms in the future. Let's just search some more. Here, I found some interesting mushrooms. They have an incredibly and distinctly appetizing smell, and they grow in a deciduous forest. I don't know them yet either. At this moment, I will search for them on the internet, and will collect them in the future if they are not inedible, and gather more information. Here is another mushroom, a fascinating and captivating specimen, a unique and intriguing one. An interesting specimen. I think what likely bursts is probably the burial one. It's not clearly known if they are safe to eat, but they can indeed be repaired. I collected approximately about 8 kilograms of mushrooms in total. Not very big and compact, but already pleasant and delightful to bring home. Very aromatic, because there is little moisture now, rich in flavor. They will make a very good soup. This is a great time for fishing, as the season is favorable. You might also consider trimming your fishing gear to ensure it's ready. We cut close to the stem, nearer to the trunk of the tree. The mosquitoes are biting as well. The harvest was quite successful, with favorable conditions contributing to a good yield. There are no fish, but mushrooms have already appeared. This means that our trip for fishing was not in vain. While it may seem like we're going fishing, we're actually here for a different kind of adventure, picking mushrooms. With the recent increase in fallen trees, the forest has become an ideal spot for this activity. I don't know why. Maybe there was strong wind and perhaps some weather conditions. Massive cataclysms and devastating events. Here, in this area, you can look under the fallen tree and observe the intricate details of nature's power. Here under the roots is another batch of oyster mushrooms. Right now. So, here we simply need to just walk around in a circle and actually see what is really in the shade of the trees. All the mushrooms are currently growing under the trees, near the roots, because there is no moisture above. They have to rely solely on the moisture that falls to the ground in the form of dew in the mornings. Mosquitoes are flying in the air and buzzing around. This year, they are just enjoying the pleasantly warm weather and sunshine. It is now mid-October outside, and the thermometer still reads +20. Mushrooms thrive in warmth, but if there is no moisture, they do not grow. Here, I found a nice tree, and lichens are already growing all the way up. We just need to think about how to get them out of there because it's a little bit high. Let's carefully look for a stick, perhaps, or something similar, and safely get them out. There is a considerable amount, yet the level is quite elevated. This indicates that while the quantity is substantial, the degree or height is also significant. I knocked down all the little mushrooms with a stick. By the way, there is still some kind of mushroom here. If you know, could you tell me what kind it is? At this moment, I have decided not to take it because there is a possibility that it might not be safe to eat. I would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to share your thoughts and comments on this matter. Your feedback is valuable to me. There is a small swamp here that serves as a source of moisture for the mushrooms that I found. If you enter the forest and find a patch of mushrooms or mycelium, it is advisable to remember it, because next year it will be easier to find mushrooms. Let's search some more. Here in this spot, I have discovered some really fascinating and intriguing tiny little mushrooms. They have a deliciously appetizing smell that is both inviting and delightful, and grow in the forest, and are often found there. I don't know them yet either. I will look them up on the internet and will gather them in the future. Here is another mushroom, a fascinating and intriguing specimen of the mushroom variety. An interesting specimen. I think it might be something that bursts. It has a mushroom smell. It's unknown whether it can be eaten or not. Here I collected about 8 kilograms of mushrooms. It's truly a wonderful feeling to be able to bring it back home where it belongs and enjoy the comfort and warmth it provides. The sense of satisfaction and happiness it brings is simply unmatched. They are so aromatic because there is little moisture now, rich in flavor. They will make a very good soup, probably. This is the fish season.
Calm music, with its soothing melodies and gentle rhythms, creates a peaceful environment that helps listeners relax and unwind. This type of music often includes soft instrumental sounds, like the gentle notes of a piano or